the legal minimum to form a binding contract are extremely favorable to Yeti. I do not believe that other groups have gotten this kind of effective waiver on their use of Woods Ranch or any other county property or facility. This lack of pricing equity between groups who wish to use county property and facilities raises the possibility that others may seek similar terms, that this would place costs of maintenance on the taxpayers as a whole rather than on the users of the property and sets a bad precedent. 2. Article 1, paragraph F.
Would it be okay if I address these
Yeah.
as you read them?
Be great.
That first concern, that's actually pretty common for city, state, county, in an agreement where it's mutually beneficial for $1 for a lease for month.
Per year, right?
Yes, per year. And Yeti is assuming all liability on this. If there is something broken, ruined, needs repair that's caused by any of who will be taxpayers of our county using this. So the people who are paying into that dollar that, or the difference on the dollar, they're the ones that are using this. But we will be responsible and obligated to repair, replace, or fix, or pay to have it done on anything. We're also putting in right around $10,000 on the project, and we are not charging anything for use. So the difference between us and other projects that may enter into a contract with the county is they are for-profit projects, even if they're a nonprofit group, and they are gaining from it. We are providing a service at no cost. So
Along those lines, have you, and we may have talked about this, I don't recall, but have you provided like a certificate of insurance? Have you got an underwriter for if something big were to happen?
yes, so that will be, yep, it's within the contract.
Okay.
We'll
I
have
haven't
a,
had a chance to.
yep,
Okay.
we'll have $1 million liability insurance covering everything. So, sorry, you can go ahead with
No,
the
that was
second
it. Okay.
point. Thank you.
So next item. Okay, thank you. Number 2, Article 1, paragraph F states that the county will carry the costs of electricity for lighting, but this is in contradiction to Article 2, paragraph B, which states that Yeti will pay for their electricity costs. There appears to be the potential for costs created by Yeti to be shifted to the taxpayers as a whole.
Okay, and on this one, like Paul said, that he sent him just kind of a red struck copy. It wasn't the official copy of everything. And the way that that will read is that Yeti is responsible for all of the electrical needs, as in hookups, lines, the setup of the facility to be used for the lights, and the county will hold the burden of covering the power usage, which will be very minimal. I think it'd be generous saying it'd be $50 a month. So it's not really much more than is already going on up there. But in that, it's just that Yeti will cover installing all of the equipment, the needed permits, and all of the like. So I think he just misunderstood that.
It's reflected very clearly in that paragraph. I don't know if that was that changed, Mike, or was it
Which paragraph are you talking about?
Article 1, paragraph F?
Article 6, paragraph F is what he wrote, but I'm not familiar with the contract.
So there's 1F. It says it is anticipated that Yeti will require electricity on the leased property to operate 6 LED lights to illuminate the ice rink during the evening hours. The 6 was a change because after I
From
spoke
5.
with Commissioner Cousins, he asked me to change that. I think before it said less than 5, so we've changed it to 6. County and Yeti anticipate the use of these lights will only slightly increase the electric bill. County pays for the Woods Ranch recreation area. County agrees to cover this small additional expense. However, Yeti is solely responsible for paying for any expenses associated providing the necessary infrastructure to deliver electric power to the ice rink, and this must be done in a manner approved by the Iron County Building Department. So the way I wrote that, and the way I hope it reads, is that they're responsible for whatever costs associated with getting electric power to the rink, and that the county is going to be paying for electricity that's used no more than 6 LED lights on the rink.
Yeah, I think it's very clear. Thank you.
While we're there, I just note on page 3, there's a typo.
Uh-oh,
It's got
typo.
2C,
Okay.
section C. So
Oh, yes, okay, I'll change that.
Oh,
So that will be the top of page 3, that will be C, that's the correct C, D, and then the bottom of page 3 will be an E. And then I'll have to make the corresponding changes through the rest of that Article 1.
right.
Number 3, Article 6, paragraph F states that the county shall have the right to bill Yeti for maintenance and repairs, but it does not appear to require that the county do so. This creates a condition in which the county may waive billing Yeti for costs borne by the county, which then creates costs for the taxpayers as a whole. If the current or a future commission chose to reduce or waive these costs, it once again sets a precedent that other groups would be entitled to the same treatment.
I don't know if the county commission would like to address that one. We are going in again assuming all liability. We don't expect to and don't expect to ask for any special treatment in that, to ask anything be waived. If it is born from the use of the ice rink and something mishap, or there's a mishap or something gets damaged, we are happy to pay for it.
I think it's very clear in the paragraph. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Which paragraph was that?
I couldn't find where he's talking about.
Article 6, paragraph F is what he stated.
Article 11, doesn't it?
Not
Oh, 11?
6 doesn't have an F.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's,
or 11, that's right.
11.
yeah, Article 6, that's, I don't have page numbers, let's see. It is Article 6, that's 11.
11, yeah.
So I have a number in.
Graduate of Cedar High School. I know my Roman numerals, kind of.
Okay, F?
Sorry, 11,
11,
Article 11, paragraph.
I don't think there's
F.
an Article 11.
There is, and it's,
It's on page,
Page 9.
under miscellaneous provisions.
to renumber that, because
And
that should
the-
be 8. But I'm with you.
Is that not really 11?
Well, it's number 11 on there, but.
Which high school did you graduate from?
I'm not going to throw my own water under the bus. for all my mistakes.
Plead the fifth.
Sorry, I'm just,
Um,
oh, man.
So paragraph F is what he's referring to?
Yes.
Yes, the latter part of that, county shall have the right to bill
Yes,
Yeti for such
abate a
services.
nuisance or hazard. You have the right to bill. I don't
So-
feel how that's harmful at all to the county. It says if we have to go up there to abate a nuisance, we can bill them for the services and they have to pay for it.
Yeah, and his point was that, if I understand it correctly, if a current or future commission chose to reduce or waive these fees, it would once again set a precedent that other groups would be entitled to the same treatment.
I don't know how to plan for every contingency of what
Yeah.
any future commission may or may not do. I just don't know how to.
Well, and to that point too, you can't obligate a future commission
I-
either.
Well, and this is a year-to-year agreement.
yes.
So the agreement could change each year.
You guys have a lot of discretion. You may or may not do things I agree or disagree with. That's up to you. I can't make it do stuff.
We're good.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, number 4. As a state highway, plowing responsibilities for State Route 14 between Cedar City and Woods Ranch fall to the Utah Department of Transportation, or UDOT. UDOT has a clear policy of not plowing SR 14 outside of daytime hours. Hockey games generally take place during evening hours outside of this plowing window. There is a potential for this location to create additional plowing or search and rescue costs if players choose to stay in the canyon during a winter weather event or are unaware of approaching weather. I'm concerned that there does not appear to have been any communication with UDOT or the Iron County Sheriff's Office regarding these potential issues.
And I'd like to talk about that. This is no different than someone going up there and sledding or going hunting, or
Going up to
this
run
is-
snowmobiles.
life is about personal responsibility, and people know there's risks in anything they do. And
As for weather, if there's a large storm incoming, we've been pretty diligent when we've run the rink for the last 8 years that if there's a large storm coming, we are preemptive and we shut it down, let people know. Right now, the only games that we have scheduled will be for the youth, and they'll actually be Saturday mornings. And after the sun comes up, because it's too darn cold, we'd never get anybody up there anyways. But like Paul said, it's kind of use at your own risk, have a little bit of common sense, but it's going to be our local taxpayers who are using that, the same people who are paying for that plowing, paying for the maintenance, paying for the upkeep of the roads. And it will be people from out of state that are coming up and going through. So does anyone else up there using the mountain have more precedence over anybody that would be using the ice rink. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. It's kind of a selfish thing to say because we didn't check in and make certain that it was covered, but we are falling in suit with every other user of the mountain.
Okay. Anything else?
The final paragraph reads, "The agreement as presently constituted appears to leave far too much up to the whims and discretion of the county commission, as well as set a precedent that future groups who wish to use county recreation properties or facilities will be able to do so at no cost to them, even if the county incurs costs due to it. I would encourage the county commission to rewrite this agreement to be in line with previous agreements with other entities. To not do so invites accusations, fair or not, of favoritism toward certain private groups and effectively subsidizing their activities across the taxpayer as a whole." I assume you mean taxpayers as a whole.
I emailed Mr. Harris and asked him if he could provide previous agreements with other entities that we could compare with, and I didn't hear back. So I don't know really what he's referring to there.
And again, I think that that's a pretty unfair statement, and it besmirches what our organization is trying to do. Again, we'll be in somewhere in the ballpark of $10,000 into this project, and we are doing what we can to be as least invasive as possible on the meadow and still provide this for our community. We're not charging for it. We just see a service that is needed, that our kids have grown accustomed to, that our community has grown to love, and we are providing that on our own backs. So saying that our organization is getting something for nothing really irritates me personally, because that $10,000 is not even close to what will be put in volunteer hours to maintain, operate, and organize everything for this rink. So I very much think that the county is getting the better deal, though we appreciate it. We are bringing a very great project to the county, and it's a feather in the cap of our community, and it's going to be used well. So I don't see where the county taxpayer is falling short or losing on this.
Just because if you end up approving this agreement, you don't have to approve anybody to be able to use county property for whatever they want. People throw down the precedent word a lot. I think they mean something that it doesn't really mean. So I don't think you have to say, well, so-and-so got to use the meadow for this, so that means that we automatically get to. That's not what it means. So I don't agree with that statement. They might come in and ask and say, since somebody else got to use it, we think it's fair for us to, and that might put you under some pressure, and you might feel like you need to, but it's not a legal issue. You can still say no to other uses.
Yes. And like it or not, you are our elected officials. We put our faith and trust into you when we elect you to this commission. And we know that you can't have everything constantly open for discussion with everybody. You guys at some point have to take the bull by the horns and do what we elected you to do and make decisions on our behalf. That's why you are where you are.
Well, in regards to the agreement, Mike is extremely busy. He's juggling a lot of different balls.
Absolutely, and I very much appreciate it.
We threw this at him, and I know he's been working late hours and weekends to get this done. And yeah, we found a few tiny changes that we needed to make, but I think it's a great agreement. I appreciate Mike doing it.
Absolutely.
Doing a great job on it.
So if you'll let me, depending on what you do, even if you approve it or whatever, if you'll let me go back and change the numbering and the lettering and so forth, those few typos, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. But we can vote on it based on you changing those few little things.
Map right there.
And the
Yeah.
map.
And the map.
But we all understand where it's going to be.
So we want that probably.
You need to hold it up for that if you want to vote on it today.
Okay.
And I'd just like to say, as the commissioner that's the liaison with the leisure department and the Parks and Rec, we have put a lot of time into this,
Absolutely.
just making sure that that we're comfortable with it, as far as the benefits to the county, the benefits to the citizens. I mean, this isn't something that any of us as commissioners or Maria's department or the building department or the sheriff's department, we've all been involved in these conversations, the county attorney's office. And I think that we've come from kind of a pie in the sky type discussion. I think that we've been able to come down to an agreement that's mutually beneficial for our kids and for our
Absolutely.
citizens. And this isn't this hasn't been a process that's been taken lightly or flippantly. I'm really now I don't know the word I'm saying. I'm encouraged and I'm grateful for the opportunity that we've had to work on this. I mean, there's been a tremendous amount of work on
Yes.
both sides go into this to come to an agreement that is acceptable, I think.
Absolutely.
And I want to say that this is a trial run. We've kind of talked about that in our last commission meeting. Really see how this is going to work, and I hope that it works. But I think it's a project that deserves the opportunity to prove itself and
Thank you for that.
to do what we can do to make it work.
Well said.
With that, if I'm taking over your role, if there's no other discussion,
Go for it.
I'm going to move for approval of the agreement to proceed with the creation of a seasonal ice rink at Woods Ranch. Just with the notations that we've made, Mr. Edwards going to kind of clean that up as far as the page numbers, as well as a couple of typos that have been identified, and the inclusion of a map with the help of the GIS services, so that we understand exactly what's there.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as described. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all very much. I'm very appreciative to the commission, John Whitaker, Mike Edwards, Bryce Williams, Preston Nelson, and Maria Twitchell. Thank you guys all very much. This is huge for our community and our youth, and believe me, you're going to see it blow up. So we're going to get news out immediately and start getting everything ready. So thank you very much.
Hurry before the snow
Yes,
flies.
absolutely.
I've got a call into Preston. He's really
Okay.
busy on Monday morning, so
Okay,
he hasn't returned
no
yet.
problem.
But he should be able to have somebody up there this week. I'm assuming you want to start
Yep,
doing the
as
leveling
soon as
this
possible. I'm ordering the tarp and the equipment today, so
Okay.
perfect. Thank
Good.
you guys. I appreciate it.
Okay. Murray, I failed to mention or to give you some time if you had. Do you have anything regarding this?
The only thing is that we do charge $25 for the use of the pavilions, but we do not charge during the winter time, so that may be what.
So you don't charge during the winter for the pavilion use? Oh, I see. So if somebody did use the pavilion in conjunction with the use of the rink, it's because you don't have the demand during the winter? So that wouldn't be an issue?
It would not be.
Okay. Is that the only thing you had?
That was my only.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, very good. I apologize for not asking. I meant to ask you before we voted on that, but I failed to. That motion carries. Item number 4, discussion and possible approval of a proposed partial vacated and amended plat of lots 3 and 4, Block D, Phase 2, Old Irontown subdivision, within Section 5, Township 37 South, Range 14 West, Salt Lake Base, Meridian, Iron County, Utah. Reed. Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. You're familiar with these, I think, by now. We've seen quite a few of them, and we've got a couple more on the docket. But this is a combination of, or combining of 2 lots into a single lot so that they can build across the lot line. It's an amended plat for just these 2 lots, partial amendment. The notifications have been set out to adjacent property owners. We haven't heard anything back from anyone. I don't know if there's anyone here today to speak to that. The owners of the lots, the Paradies, are here and are anxious to get this done so they can build.
Okay. Looks pretty simple. Anything from you folks, or we good?
Good.
All right.
Excited to move into Old Irontown.
That's great. We're happy to have you.
Excellent. I move approval of the proposed partial vacated and amended plat of lots 3 and 4, Block D, Phase 2, Old Irontown subdivision within Section 5, Township 37 South, Range 14 West, Salt Lake Base, and Meridian, Iron County, Utah.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded as described. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Good luck with you folks. All right, we will now convene as the Board of Equalization. Go to agenda item number 5, review and approve low-income and homeowners tax credit abatement applications and veterans abatement applications received to date. Christine Louder, I'm sorry. Christine, not Carrie.
Sorry, what?
You combined the two desks in the office.
Oh,
I was looking at the wrong
Carrie.
line.
They're both C's.
Carrie's up next. Christine Christensen is up next. So, took me a minute. I had to think of that one. Okay. Anyway, so this is the annual presentation of applications that have been turned in for individuals that are seeking help with their property taxes for the 2020 tax year. Applications go out the 1st of June. And so that we can get the tax bills, or the treasurer's office can get the tax bills issued, we have to present these prior to those going out. So you should have received a copy of the report Friday that I emailed to the clerk's office. This year, as of today, we've had 1,422 that have qualified. Well, that's not really a true number for the number of individuals. That's an accumulative. For instance, an individual can qualify for a circuit breaker as well as the county, as well as the market circuit breaker. So it's kind of an accumulative number. Those that are highlighted, if you're looking at the tax relief totals, this one right here, the highlighted numbers, the 184,408.39 and the $876.30 come to the 185,284.69, which we will be reimbursed from the state. That is what we call the circuit breaker, and they reimburse us 100% on what we help the individuals with on that. I will present again towards the end of November any late applications that come in that we approve. So the total number, the total amount that has been abated is, and this includes mobile homes, $1,001,438.65. And that is reflected in the summary report that you have, the abatement summary. So do you have any questions on the program or the numbers or?
No.
I'm glad to hear the state reimburses us. I must have
Yeah,
missed
they
that last
they
time.
do send us a little bit.
Good. So they budget to help the counties out with these
Yeah,
circuit breakers?
yeah. This program is throughout each of the counties in the state. So whatever is expended on circuit breaker, the state does reimburse each county.
Great.
Okay. I would move to approve the low income and homeowners tax credit abatement applications and veterans abatement applications that we have received to date, and note that that's in the amount of $1,001,438.65. Did I get my number right?
Yep, it did.
Excellent.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the low income and homeowners tax credit abatement applications. All in favor?
Aye.
Just here? Thank you.
Betcha. Oh, have you got a pen that works better than mine? Really? John's pen's way worse than mine.
Those are all pencils.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to item number 6, review and approve the Board of Equalization hearing officers' recommendations for adjustments for the 2020 year. Gary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, the initial report this year for the top one that you see on the top of your thing shows my log of all the appeals filed for the County Board of Equalization this year. It is up from last year. We had 187 last year. We have 343 this year.
Wow.
It has been steadily increasing every year. The total, if you look at that very last page of that first report, it shows the total number of appeals. It gives you a key to the key code, the color code of each of the appeals and what were filed. There was a total market value adjustment of $14,104,110 this year, with a taxable value adjustment of $13,248,550 in taxable value. A couple of those that you'll notice at the very back of that page are Kern River individual appeals. The Utah State Tax Commission filed a revised amended tax or valuation notice for Kern River for those two counties, or for those two districts, 7 and 10. That's included in those total figures. The second report I show, or commission report, reflects a per district adjustment. Each of them broke out by district, and then it gives you a total of taxes adjusted for the county. So we had a total of general fund tax revenue loss or adjustment off of $20,243.78, with the municipal service adjustment of $8,164.53, for a total difference in tax adjustments for this year of $28,408.33. The last final report that is included is my master log that is generated from the system that shows each of the adjustments that are outlined in my log and the amounts of adjustments, the totals. On that commission report, it shows you the amount of appeals and that we're kind of on the increase again for this year.
Could you explain on that first report, last page, just for my benefit? I'm
Absolutely.
still learning this a little bit. So can you explain what stipulation, those different key terms are?
Yeah, so a stipulation, there was 137 stipulations. A stipulation is an agreement between the assessor's office and the county and the appellant, and if they agree on a stipulated value,
So
then
those are settled.
they're waiving their right to further appeal as stipulated agreed value.
Okay.
There were 0 withdrawals this year. The adjustments and no adjustments made were hearing officer decisions made during our hearings. So if there was no adjustment made, he denied or declined to make an adjustment for those appellants. An adjustment made was him making some kind of adjustment. There were 2 dismissals for lack of evidence, and then 174 assessor's adjustments. Those assessor adjustments include, for instance, Parkview subdivision is the huge one this year, that when we sell property as a county and it goes from exempt to private or private to exempt, we make an assessor's adjustment so that the treasurer can prorate taxes.
I see. Okay. And according to Cindy, we don't expect any appeals for that right now?
The state, we
State
don't,
appeal.
They have until November. They have 30 days, so they have until the 19th of November they have 30 days from when I mail their determination letters out, which will go out Friday, and then so they'll have 30 days to appeal it. We had 3 last year.
3, but they were all stipulated with
Except 1.
We might have had 5 initially, and we stipulated some earlier.
Yeah.
Commissioner Cousins, if I may, just for further, generally on stipulation, I mean, it can be a number of things, but we try to reach out to all of the taxpayers before and talk to them. Most common generally is they've just had, is either a primary exemption, and we stipulate to that, or if they've just purchased the house or had a refinance and they've got an appraisal, then oftentimes we'll stipulate to that, just because, not that they do a better job than we do, but because they are generally inside the home and can see interior and exterior and look at it a little more closely than we can when we're doing all 46,000 parcels. But there may be other reasons. There may be conditions that we didn't know about. You know, it flooded, we didn't know that, so they'll bring us evidence of condition of the home. So those are generally, the stipulations are something that we didn't know about of the house, or generally a primary, and oftentimes a refinance or a purchase.
Yep. Thank you for that clarification. Okay,
That's it.
all right.
I move approval of the Board of Equalization hearing officer's recommendations for adjustments for the 2020 year.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Board of Equalization hearing officer's recommendations for 2020 year. All in favor?
Aye.
That looks like a lot of work. Thank you.
And just a shout out
Anyway.
to our hearing officers. You guys don't realize how good you got it. In smaller counties, you guys would be the one hearing all of these, and you're not professionals in that field, and you would be stuck right in the middle of it, trying to be fair, but trying to come up with good values. I mean, you talk to some of the commissioners in the smaller counties, and that's what they do, is they do that. So Dan Jones, Carrie, help me out. Dan Jones? Daniel Johnson. I think of Dan Jones, the other guy, and then Cody Hymas. They're both great to work with. They're really fair. I always tell, if any people call in and inquire about the process, I say, listen, our hearing officers, we hire them from the private sector. They're really fair, and they really do stand as a good, objective officer to kind of hear both sides. I think Cindy would agree that we have good ones, and they do good. And the assessor's office always comes in and represents well, and Carrie does a good job. So I appreciate Carrie and Christine and all the hard work they do. They let me focus on budget and all my other things at this time of the year, and they just handle it. So when the day comes that we lose either one of these my deputies, I'm gonna be hating life. So anyways.
Thanks, Dan. Okay, we'll reconvene as Iron County Commission and move to agenda item number 7 with personnel. First of all, corrections. I guess all of them are corrections. Jennifer?
Thank you. Yes, all of them are in the corrections department today. I've got 4 for your consideration. The first one is for Mackenzie Bailey. She was selected from the recruiting and interview process to backfill for the vacant medical position. She is a LPN, so her title will be medical LPN. And this will be a part-time position, and it will continue to be a full-time position just for the future. We had to underfill it just to get somebody in that position, and we were so lucky to grab her from another county up north. So she's down in nursing school right now, so we will have her as long as we can. And her position began 10/5 of 2020. And then the next 3 are all together. Let's go into Robert Stammet, Amanda Berman, and Viapule Tafuga. I hope I said that right. Or Junior.
Junior.
They have all completed the requirements to promote them from Deputy 2 to Deputy 3, and with this promotion, their pay increase will fall within county guidelines beginning 10/18 of 2020.
Okay, I would move for approval the following. New hire Mackenzie Bailey as a part-time medical LPM in corrections, effective date of 10/5 of 2020. And approve for the promotion of Robert Stammet, Amanda Berman, and Fiapule Tufuga, Jr., from Deputy 2 to Deputy 3, and those effective dates will be 10/18 of 2020.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to make the following changes in the Corrections Department as itemized. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate it.
Commissioners, can I just notify you of something that doesn't require any action? I just want you to be aware. Friday, I filed a motion to intervene in the Cedar Highlands case. They had the petition to disincorporate or dissolve the town. There was part of that process involves individuals that feel like the town owes them money or that they have a claim against the town to submit their claim so that can be resolved prior to the town dissolving. There was one, to my knowledge, there's only one claim that was filed, and that was by an individual who we believe his claim revolves around land use issues, wants to subdivide up there. And given that local government for the area now is under the town,
Under the county?
I'm sorry, under the county. My apologies. The town is dissolved. Local government issues like subdivision and land use development falls to the county now. I felt like it was appropriate. I spoke with Reed about it to make sure that the county was involved in that process. So I filed a motion to intervene. In case you're asked about that, I just wanted you to understand why I'm trying to insert the county into that. The county has a process for land use development on the mountain due to there was some landslide issues at one time there. Perhaps ongoing. So there's a process whereby people can do some development. We just want to make sure they follow the county process. So I just wanted you to be aware in case you get asked why the county's intervening in that case.
Makes sense.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Non-delegated items, any prairie dog matters? County boards. We realize there's going to be some changes coming up with some of our county boards. That's on the radar, but we haven't. And speaking of county boards, we'd like to publicly extend our condolences to the Kendall Cripps family for their loss, and our heart goes out to that for their family and prayers as they go through this grieving time. So we've appreciated Kendall and his service on our planning commission, and our hearts go out to that whole situation and the family. So with that, we will I'll declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you. Okay. You wanted to meet with us?